Hey everyone! Hi, happy Wednesday, hump day. Today is wow, the last Wednesday of July. So my husband and I do meal planning. This is a bit of a tangent. And so every like Saturday we plan out our groceries and our meals for the next week. And every week when I do the meal planning, I write down what week it is. It's like week 30. And every time I write out what week it is, I'm like a little bit depressed. I'm just like, oh, we're more than halfway through the year. This is not, I mean, this is, yeah, not how any of us expected this year to go. But I shouldn't say depressed. I think it's just kind of like, oh, wow, it's August. It's almost August. We're much more than halfway into the year. And I'm just trying to like grok with that fact. Because I think many of us had a lot of plans for what we were gonna do this year. And I think I had some plans for what I wanted to do for the year. And that has changed, and I've been like scrambling around trying to figure out what like the new goals yeah, what the new goals are and what the new like things I want to accomplish this year is. So yeah, that's it's been very interesting, kind of just like keeps you on your toes. So yeah, happy Wednesday. I don't know why I went into that, but oh, because I was like happy Wednesday, the last Wednesday of July. And also I guess like Tuesdays and Wednesdays I kind of look forward to because we like go on one boba run. And we didn't do that yesterday. I don't know if we're gonna do it today, but maybe we will. Which um, I like my boba runs. Hey Gillian, thank you so much for joining again today. I think you've been like, I think maybe you and Green Veggie, or at least I know you've been consistently in every single one, and it's like 11 p.m. in Paris, and I really appreciate it. So thank you for joining every single time. Hey Green Veggie, I think you've joined every single time too. Thank you so much. Visnu said, I set up alerts. I very much appreciate your alerts that you've set up. And this is great because we're doing Observable today and Visnu works at Observable. So we basically have like a TA in the chat. Actually, also, I was gonna do Vega Light, and Visnu wrote all of these like 4 notebooks about how to use Vega Light in Observable. And I'm especially excited for notebook number 3 in this series about how to like layer and compose multiple different charts or chart types um, into one. And I'm very excited. I have to admit, I am guilty of, I don't know if you remember last week, but last week I was like, ooh, um, my I need to restart my computer because it's not doing so well right now with OBS running. And I set that I think on Thursday, and I set that on Friday, and I have to admit that I still have forgotten to restart my computer and my poor computer. It's like the things I put my computer through, and I'm like very bad and guilty about like restarting my computer. I mean, like, I should just restart it at the end of the night, but nope, I just kind of forget to do it. Stereo. Oh, DT says generator function yield. Hey everyone. And I think that's because I've been reading into generators the last day, I think. And trying to figure it out because I know Observable uses a lot of generators. In their examples. I know they use a lot of generators in how they do animation and interaction. So I wanted to make sure I understood it, both in just like vanilla JavaScript, how generators work, and also how it's used in Observable. And so I like kind of went down the rabbit hole, and I got really confused with like the things that I was reading. So I like asked on Twitter. So I think that's what DT is saying. Snickeret says, "Hey Shirley, hi Snickeret, hi Amy. Thank you so much for joining today too, and I will see you later at your stream." So Amy is one of my studio mates, and she has a stream at 5:30 p.m. PST every Wednesday. And I think it used to be an Animal Crossing stream, but recently Amy has been working on. Okay, so I'm going to try and get this right, and I'll probably get it wrong, but 3D modeling. And she was doing it in Cinema 4D last week, and she was making a really cute old school keyboard. Was it like an old school computer, like a very retro? It was very cute. And so I'm very much excited to join today. Also, um, Jack says hello, hello, hello. Snickeret says, and hey everyone, hey everyone. Oh, Amy has her super cute Lily um sticker. Are those called stickers in Twitch? I have no idea. Um, and Business says, hello, I always see these 5 hours late. Uh-oh, I should run away now if this is Vega Light. Yes, actually, little did Visitor know. It is, he's actually doing everything today. He's going to be answering all of our questions. No, I'm just kidding. Ian says hi. Yay, hi, Ian. Ian also works at Observable. This is quite great representation. Thanks for joining, Ian. I mean, and also Ian is like one of the co-organizers and co-founders of Bay Area D3 user group, which I think might be, Ian, correct me if I'm wrong, is it the oldest D3 user group in the world? I don't know. I mean, not that, I mean, like D3 has only been around for 8, 9 years, but it's been around for 8 or 9 years. And it's honestly been a really huge part of my D3 and dataviz, I guess, journey. And so I would highly recommend checking it out if you're in the Bay Area, or at least checking it out once we can meet up in person again. And Amy says, my computer sends empathy to your computer. And this is because Amy's computer was also really struggling last week when I was trying to render her it was trying to run both OBS and render with Cinema 4D at the same time, and the poor thing was having a very hard time. Hopefully I'm not trying to do anything too rigorous with my computer today. Anna Coase says, hi Shirley in chat. Hi Anna Coase, thanks for joining again today. DT says, we'll never understand the Mac users with them not shutting down their machines. You know, actually, when I used to have a PC, I was really bad. Like my parents used to yell at me all the time. But when I had a PC desktop back in like high school, I would never turn it off either. But that one was actually because I think I was like downloading Korean dramas off of like Merc. And so because I think this was like 2005 and 2006, so our like internet speeds were like super slow. So anytime I wanted to download, I mean, I guess most of our internet speeds were really slow. So anytime I wanted to download any sort of movie, it would take like hours. And so I would just queue up like all the episodes for Korean drama and then just let it run overnight. And then my parents used to yell at me so much. I felt like my like computer didn't really, like I had it for years. I had it for like the entirety of high school and it was fine. So I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it was fine. It was fine. Um, and uh, and Anako says, DT, I think I haven't shut down my Mac in months, lol. Oh, hi, Alice. Thank you so much for joining, Alice. Alice says, oh my God, I want to hear young Shirley stories. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like downloading Korean dramas from Merc is like, so Merc is like I don't know what the M part stands for actually, but IRC is like Internet Relay Chat, and I think Merc was just one of the clients that you could use to like to access that. In retrospect, I guess like as like a 14-year-old, maybe that was like a shady part of the internet. I have no idea, but I kind of like stayed in the like channels that were just like Korean dramas and like Japanese manga. So I guess it was like a relatively safe part of IRC. And I guess technically it was like in a gray zone because it was like Asian dramas. It wasn't licensed in the US, so pretty sure it was like in the gray zone. I don't think I broke any laws. Um, yeah, but I feel like that's how I learned. I did. I taught myself a little bit of HTML and CSS and like Photoshop and web design back in high school. JavaScript always confused me. So, or yeah, and I think that's a lot of where that came from, just like IRC and wanting to like download things. And then at one point, I was actually like uploading, like I had a website. That was like a like manga distribution website, and so I actually ran a website. And actually, at one point, because before I think like in sophomore year or something, I ran that website, and then actually had volunteers that also went and downloaded manga from IRC, and then uploaded it because there was just like back then you had to like upload on like Photo Bucket or something. So then I had and because I couldn't like keep up with the pace of uploading the manga, I had like several volunteers uploading it for me, and then I designed a website. Um, and it offered both like Photo Bucket reading and also direct downloads. And that's how I learned web development back in '05, and a little bit of management skills. So yeah, and then I had to start taking AP classes, and I couldn't spend any time on them anymore. um, Buddha says yes. Snickeret says, "Are we good to go for data analytics today?" Yes, yes. I'm sorry for misleading you for about like 2 streams, but today is the day. Today is the day. I have plans. Alice says, honestly, yeah. As long as I don't get distracted and sidetracked by any other stories, unnecessary stories about my childhood, we should be able to get to them today. Actually, it's the first thing we're going to do, so we will get to them. Alice is honestly relatable. I remember when it took forever to download stuff and you have to just leave it on overnight. Yeah, and my desktop lasted me all 4 years of high school, so I think it was fine. Um, Gilliam says, Snicker, it depends how much we can sidetrack, Shirley. um, oh my god, hi EJ, hello. Good to see you, or not see you, but thank you for joining the chat, EJ. Grew up on IRC, gang. Yes, I think there was like a good few years in my life that was on IRC. Didn't fully understand what it was. I was just like, this is a place I must go to download these dramas. And so I shall go. Jamman says, yeah, I remember downloading games from Merck in the 90s. Wow. Alice says, how did you teach yourself in high school? Self-initiated projects or specific communities, Zanga, Neopets, etc. How did I teach myself? Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Wait, okay. So I think in middle school there was like some computer class that like taught us, I think Microsoft Front Page, I think, was the thing that taught the software that like helped you create really easy HTML websites, I think. And then I think and then wow. And then some family friends showed me Photoshop and got me set up. In retrospect, obviously not with the legit version. Got me set up with Photoshop, and then I think he like showed me some of the basic commands, and then I went like really deep into it. And I think actually a lot of it came from Zanga, playing around with like the CSS code in Zanga. And I was on this like forum called Soompi. And Soompi was like the biggest forum for like just K-pop and J-pop, mostly K-pop and K-dramas. And there was and the section that I lived in, like I skipped all of the like, you know, the celebrity news and like drama discussions, and I skipped all the way. There was all the way at the bottom, there was like 3 sub forums that were like for creative, and it was like Photoshop battles, I think like websites, and I can't remember it anymore, but it was, and I remember I just lived in those, and I did a lot of Photoshop battles, um, and that's how I learned Photoshop. And I think that's also where I learned basic HTML and CSS enough to like create websites, I guess, I think. Um, so yeah, now I'm trying to figure out how I learned. Honestly, I think I was just like motivated by the fact that I like wanted to start a website where I was distributing manga. Also questionable legality. I shouldn't be saying this on a stream that's going to be archived, but hopefully like I can't. I mean, it's just like petty, hopefully petty crime, because in the mid 2000s it was like I made sure not to do any of them that were licensed. I also made no money off of it, because apparently I have no business sense. And so I didn't try to make money off of it or anything. And yeah, so I think it was purely just I wanted to make websites. And so I taught myself HTML. And many times did I try to figure out JavaScript. And I was like, I don't understand. And this was like when Google was first starting. So it was like still hard to find resources. And I was like, I don't understand how this works. I don't understand these like words. But yeah, now I think about it, it's been like 15, 16 years, and like look how far the internet has come. It is like how far JavaScript has come. Wow, yeah. Um, Snooker says, Gilliam, I'm eagerly waiting for the analytics part as I found Shirley through her viz. Yes, I'm sorry. We're getting there. We're getting there. I've already spent 28 minutes on unnecessary stories. Inako says, I haven't even heard of IRC before. Alice says, CTCP list, please. I actually don't know what that means. Anna says, I love hearing about what people did during their childhood. It's so interesting. Gilliam says, and it's still a useful resource nowadays for support of old tech. I didn't know that. I also didn't know that IRC was around in the 90s. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. But Danny Loge 45 says, hello, Shirley. Hi. Hello. Thank you for joining. Okay. We're starting, you guys. 20 minutes in. We are starting. So just very quick recap of last week. We finally finished all of our data collection. And so we also wrote this observable notebook to kind of centralize the data collection, and just so that the code is a little bit easier to read. And at the very end, we downloaded both the actors and movies JSON, and I'm going to probably make this, I'm going to make this notebook a little bit more kind of like observable compliant, or like more taking advantage of observable, and then I'll publish this so that you can all see the code and everything we talked about. So yeah, so today what we're going to do is I've started this new notebook, and I've used file attachments. So there's like this feature. You can go here, and then I think, oh, I already have it open. So I can go here, and there's file attachments, and I've already uploaded our 2 JSON files, the actors and the movies, and then I've actually already tested and brought in the actors file. I feel like unfortunately I put like the music a little loud today. Let me know if it's a little bit loud, and if I should turn it down. But right now, as I'm mentioning the music, I should also mention that the music is by Lelatones, who is a very lovely band. They're a couple from Japan, and they produce beautiful, whimsical music. And it's the music I've been using in every one of my streams. So if you really like it, check them out. I hope you'll support them also. So yeah, let's see. We've loaded in. Yes, okay, DT says a little bit too loud, so I'm going to there was something weird. I did something weird with the volume, I think, the last few days. So then I was trying to like get it back to normal earlier, and I guess I didn't. But hopefully this is better now. And we'll do the same thing. We'll get the movies. And then, yeah, it's great. Okay, so things are gonna go a little bit slow today because my laptop is very unhappy with me. But so we have the two data sets loaded. I'm just going to make a little note that these are my data sets. And then the very first thing I want to do today is I jotted down, I think last week, or yeah, I think last week I jotted down that I wanted to do some data analysis around basically the if representation of Asian American actors and actresses have improved since Crazy Rich Asians. And then the primary thing I wanted to explore was how to define improve. And then I had jotted down some ideas about revenue of movie and billing order. So today, I wanted to kind of try some exploration with Vega Light. And so I was thinking that for the top 6 billing um, actors or actresses, we want to see for each movie, for each of the other movies that they've been in, the revenue versus budget for them, and the billing order for that actor. And I have like a question mark language. We'll see. And so the idea I had is to see revenue versus budget. I'm going to start with like just a line chart, and then where the x-axis is the movies that they've been in, and so either line chart or bar chart, because the x-axis is categorical, or it's nominal values. So I actually don't know if Bakelite will let me do line chart with that. But I did kind of want to see the trend over the years, because technically the movies are, over the years. Um, so I thought line charts would be good for that, but we'll see. And the y-axis is the money, and I was thinking one line would be the revenue, and another line would be the budget, and then we'll see if we can layer on some indication of where CRA is, so then we can see like if there's like anything that went up or down, and then. I wanted that to be each line chart is one of the actors, and we'll have a small multiple of the top 6. And then I think if we have time at the end, I want to kind of explore how to add in billing data. Like, should we do it as text or as bar chart in the background? But yeah, so that's what we'll be trying to do today. And I'm just going to put this. So I have this weird thing where whatever I'm referencing is on my left, and whatever I'm working on is on my right. Don't know why. Just something that my brain does. So I'm just going to put it over here and get started. So yeah. All right. Okay, so when I'm in these notebooks, I tend to like taking some notes for myself. So I think I'll just say the very first thing we're gonna do is, for each of top 6 billed cast members, look at their filmography. And so let's try starting with Vega Light. Ooh, okay. So I haven't done this in a while, so it might be a bumbling process. Hopefully, please be patient with me. And DT says, yes, better for me. Hope also for the others too, and not just because of my setup. Health Center says, can I be your assistant and bring you your paper and coffee? I have actually been considering like trying to look for virtual assistants, but just to deal with like emails and stuff. But I think actually there was one that I was thinking of. Wow, I'm getting sidetracked. Hopefully a small short sidetrack. There's something that I've been thinking about a lot of maybe hiring a student part-time, someone that's like studying dataviz right now, and then asking them to uh, watch these streams and kind of uh, kind of put in like metadata of like what we talked about in the stream, timestamps of like, points of interest, etc. Um, and yeah, so that's an idea I've been having, and also kind of hiring them to um, try maybe go through my like podcast interviews or any other sort of interviews there happen, to see if they can find like I get a lot of questions in my email. So then like if they can pull out snippets that are like could be like frequently asked questions, and then the answers to them and like build essentially like an FAQ section for my website. So that is something I've been thinking about, not necessarily the assistant part. I'm pretty sure you were joking, but this is actually something that's been on my mind a lot of like trying to figure out how to get more time back, because I do get a lot of emails and I do get a lot of emails asking for help on certain things. And oftentimes the questions are very similar, like how did I get started, etc. Um, but yes, okay, so very first thing I want to do is import Invega Lite. And Gilliam says, is there a way to throw data at a tool? Wait, hold on. I'm like distracting myself, trying to like read and paste at the same time. A tool and have it suggest meaningful basic trends for the initial exploration and understanding. Actually, so I've never tried to look into this, but I know Ian has mentioned it before. Ian has talked about it. And I'm not actually sure if Ian has talked about it in a cynical way or a genuine way. But maybe, Ian, if you're still here, maybe you can chime in the chat for us. Snickeret says, if there would be that would be nice, but at the same point, it would be quite general, lacking the insights of individual. Yeah. Green Veggie says there are super cool chart pickers out there for data sets. This one is super cool, and it's data2viz.com. Cool. Regalite is also super cool for experimenting with different viz layouts. Anna says that'd be super useful to easily find information you put out there. Oh, yes, thank you. Ian says mostly cynical. I'll share the link. Yeah. Okay, so actually, I'm also going to pull this out because I'm going to be using it for reference. And actually, this is the first time I've tried to use this this kind of syntax for Vega Lite. I've only ever used their kind of JSON syntax, and so I'm pretty interested in how it will work out this time. So I am trying to create with Vega Lite, create a line chart. First, create line chart with x-axis as the movies, y-axis as the as money amount, and 2 lines, one revenue and one budget. Okay, we'll see how this works. And so VL, so with Vega Lite, I really like the way Vega Lite works. And the reason for that is I think the way that we think about visualizations and components of visualizations is as marks and channels. And where marks are kind of like geometric shapes. So circles, lines, like points, I guess, is the same thing. Lines, rectangles, etc. And channels being ways to describe that mark. So things like XY positions with heights, radius, etc. I learned about this reading Tamara Munzner's book, I think Visual Analysis and design, I think. It's a great book, and I think that was a really great insight. Uh, because I think before I didn't have a formal way to think about it, and once I learned about marks and channels, it like kind of really clicked, and it just was like a really clear way of like, oh, you want to, map the data, like you want to map a row of data to a mark, and you want to map columns to the channels. Is I just made that up on the spot, and hopefully that makes sense. But essentially, like you want to map one data element to a mark, and then kind of all of the attributes of that data point to the channel. So, and the reason why I really like Vega Lite is because it kind of really uses that marks and channels concept to help you compose charts. So that's why this first example is marked circle, because each of the shapes are marks. And in this particular example, each of the marks represent a car. And then here in encode, these are all the channels of X being the horsepower and Y being the miles per gallon. So in our case, where we want to try and mark line, ooh, look at that. And then the data being, ooh, I think I'm going to have to do quite a lot of turning the data into what we want first, actually. So what we want is for the data, we want an array of objects with each object having, let's see. So I'm going to try with just one of the cast members to start with, and then we'll extrapolate from there. So having let's get the actor's name and the movie ID slash title. So movie, I guess we'll do movie ID and then movie title, and the revenue and the budget, and what else do we say? So the movies as, yeah, revenue and budget. And I think let's go and merge our two data sets together so that we can do that. And so let's go and go into our actors. So I'm just going to call this, actually, let me catch up on the chat. Ooh, there's been some discussion going on. Ian says mostly cynical. I'll share a link, but Google Sheets now does suggest charts automatically when you highlight a bunch of rows in a spreadsheet. Did not know that. Cool. Yeah, so Ian sent along his Medium article of automatically generate beautiful visualizations from your data. I remember reading this. I now remember it being largely sarcastic. And the main point being, I think there is still mapping data to visuals is still very much about kind of like a problem. This isn't what Ian said. This is kind of what I remember, and this is my synthesis of it. Dataviz is still very much about kind of like problem solving. It's about kind of creative communication, and anytime there's like creativity or like problem solving involved in something, it's very, at least sort of right now, it's hard to get a machine to do it. But I think certainly there's like probably really, really, really simple cases where it could probably do that. Gilliam says, yeah, I've seen those charts in G Sheets, but the data sets are fairly limited. DT says, not sure if that is the direction you are looking for, but there are different ways to do feature selection to find features that are interesting in the data set. Interesting. Visnu sent along a UW paper. I'll pull it in here to see. Balancing, ooh, what a great one. UW Interactive Data Lab. Is this Jeffrey here? Ooh, yes. Jeffrey here's lab is the lab that did Vega Lite, so they probably really know what they're talking about when talking about this. Balancing agency and automation and visualization design via anchored recommendations. Cool. Yeah, this might be really great reading for later. So DT says, did some stuff in uni with Python. Let me look it up. Helium says, yeah, that sounds like what I've been hoping for, but it also sounds like mathy. Yeah, it does. So that'd be really interesting. Ian says trifecta. Also, trifecta.com also has ways to augment data exploration, but I haven't tried it personally. Trifacta, Trifacta. And Pranav says DZI ban is super cool. Oh, is this like, so this is the, I guess this is the system maybe? And oh, and then Vishnu says Vega's Voyager is an old attempt. There are a lot of recommender systems if you know how to search for them. I feel like they're all still couched in visualization research though. That's really interesting to know. Anna says, Shirley, do you typically make notes like that for all the projects you work on, or is that mostly for streaming purposes? No, thank you for that question. But actually, yeah, so I do this for myself. I do this in my code, I do this in my notebooks, and it's just because like sometimes when I get really into something, I'll forget the bigger picture that I'm trying to go for. So I just find it really helpful to be able to write down these sorts of notes to remind myself like what I was in the middle of. And that's also another reason why I like really enjoy working in Observable, because it like gave me a nice way to jot down these notes as I was exploring the data. And this actually became a really nice way to share my thoughts and exploration with my clients also, because then they can just kind of like read through this notebook for what I found, and then make their decisions. Oh, and this is where I probably should give a disclaimer that I'm currently partnered with Observable, and I'm working with them to create a certain number of notebooks for kind of like community examples, I guess. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. But as I said before, I've used Observable for like years, and it's part of my usual workflow anyways. And I would have used them anyways, regardless of the partnership. It's just nice to also be able to generate income off of it. Snicker says, quite informative this chat is getting. Yes, I am very much enjoying this chat. And I very much enjoy all of the things I learn from all of you. Like, for example, I feel like having this chat has increased or updated my JavaScript knowledge, from basically, I've like updated myself on all that I haven't kept up with in, or not all, a lot of what I haven't kept up with in the last 3 years. So I'm very grateful for that. And I think that's just because as a freelancer, I don't get to work with anybody else. And so I don't get to have kind of like that mentorship, that technical mentorship. And being able to have all of you in the chat is extremely helpful. Gilliam says, thanks for the tooling suggestions, chat. DT is kind of mathy. I think we use pandas for that, something to the stuff down here. And there's another link that's towards data science. So actually, when I archive this particular video, I'll make sure to paste the chat in too. So whoever is watching later can refer to the chat. And Paranoid Android, I think. Hello everyone, what is happening here? Anna says, I love that idea of how you take notes. I'm definitely going to try it in my coding projects. Thank you. Serenify says, yo, oh my god, the UW Data Lab page, I love it. Vishnu says, also note the last author on this paper. And Gal Aji, I think. Surely, any thoughts on making dataviz data stories persuasive, not just visually appealing? Of course, they're connected things, but what's been your experience using dataviz to persuade for a specific mission or objective? Oh, that's a really good one. And it's actually a really, I think, a more involved question that I think I might try and answer another time. I have a lot of thoughts on that. But I actually, if you could hold on to that question, and I've been thinking of doing like a Discord. Okay, well, so I've been thinking of doing a Patreon just to make this stream more sustainable for myself. And then in the Patreon, I was thinking of having a members only Discord where I could answer questions like that. That does take like a little bit more time to answer. But if you could hang on to that one for me, I really appreciate it. Snooker says that is using ML techniques, specifically soft computing, to do the feature selection. Wow. P. Prito says, hi, my first time in Twitch. Thank you. Welcome to Twitch. Thank you for joining the chat. And Gauji says, thanks, Shirley. I'll be looking forward to learning more. Thank you for being down to hold on to the question. Okay, so I'm gonna try and I'm gonna call this a new object, array of objects. Let's say film. I'm gonna call it actor filmography. And then what I'm going to do is the very first one. I tend to default to Lodash, so let me go and get Lodash. Import from Lodash. Oops. Oh wait, no. I need to do require is equal to Lodash. Okay, perfect. And then we are going to just take, let's take actors. For now, we'll do just Constance and her movies. So I'm going to take a look at all of her movies. And awesome. So movies. And then out of those, I just want the ID of the movie and the order. And that way I can go and look up, because in our movies data set, it is an object keyed by the movie ID. So what I need to do is go and create an object that has the actor's name. Ooh, okay, so for now, I'm just gonna forget the actor's name and the movie ID. Let's go and get the movie. So pretty sure I called it title, revenue, and budget is equal to movies, and go and get it by their ID. Did I call it title? Title, revenue, and budget. Perfect. And then let me remember the title of the movie, the revenue, and the budget, and their order. Perfect. And now, perfect. Okay, so let me also make sure that this is sorted by, so actually, I want to also know their release year or release date. So date, perfect, okay. So let me get their date and actually, let me add their date. So let me make that into a date object. And actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure to sort. So I'm going to sort, I have to, hold on. I'm gonna return the date and sort by that date to make sure that they are all, they start from left to right, because I think because I'm going to just, I guess I didn't have to do that, because I think I could have told Vega Lite to sort the x-axis split by the date, but we did it here instead of Vega Lite. And actually, I'm going to change the title a little bit, where I'm going to actually add the year to it. Is it get full year? To get full year? JavaScript date object. And let's see, I think it's get full year. So the speed at which my computer is going, it's faster for me to just run and, yep, okay, awesome. So it was indeed get full year, and now it's really nice because we can see what year each of these were in. Oh, some of them are NANs. And fascinatingly enough, seems like not all of these are sorted correctly. So I wonder why that is. So the date, that seems like it's a date object. Sort by should be able to do a date object fine. But let me just do this then and see what happens. Fascinating. Okay, well, I don't recommend this, but I'm just going to sort by the just the year, which worked. And you know what? I'm actually going to filter out all of the movies that have not been released yet. So I'm going to, oh wait, no, not here, not here. So I'm going to here filter out any that haven't been released yet. And I think I'm just going to do that by saying if there's no valid date, let's do that. Oh. If it has a valid date, then we want to keep it, yes. So actually, maybe I can go by whether, does it have its status? No, I did not think to go get its status. So why is, let's see, this one, wow, revenue 0, okay, 2008. Why am I not successfully, do I have to say invalidate? Why am I not able to filter out invalid dates? Okay, so let me take a look at ID 588021. Why is it not existing? 588021. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's see. What is happening? Ooh. Well, get time instead of year. DT says maybe try date.get time instead of year. So I guess, wait, hold on. I'm gonna try this. And this one says, date is, okay, that. So, you know what? I'm gonna do it this way. So, this get full year, I literally was just trying to get 2017. I feel like that should give me the date object, right? Yeah, I'm just passing a new date. So that should be giving me the date object. Yes. So actually, I'm going to do this. I do not recommend this. Do not try this at home. Or I don't know why I just said that. But I wouldn't recommend this for production code. But this is not production, so it's fine. If there's no date, I'm going to just return, and then I'm just going to filter. I'm just going to run filter, because then it will return undefined, and I'll just filter for anything, filter out any undefined, and that works. Yay! Okay. Vishnu says new date will give you an invalid date. I think what I was confused about is the fact that when I was trying to filter, I guess even an invalid date is technically truthy, and that's why it wasn't getting filtered out. So I guess I would have had to like try and see if it was a valid date to filter it out like that. But instead of just did if the date is an empty string, return it and then filter it out. Okay, perfect. So I think that means that we have the data we need to, yes, I believe we do indeed have the data we need to pass that into mark line actor filmography and encode and then dot render. Ooh, interesting. I wonder, is it just because the encode has nothing passed in? I wonder if that's why. Okay, so let us encode the X by the title and encode the Y by the, oh wait, actually, I wonder if what I should be doing is doing color, that I want to encode color. DT says date.getTime returns the number of milliseconds since Unix epoch. So I guess I could have used that to see if it was a valid date or not. Okay, so I think I'm gonna try, and my guess is that if I use the color channel, oh, I did this incorrectly. Okay. So DT says, so just if you want to be more precise, then just sort by year. Yes, thank you. So I will sort by get time. And actually did this a little bit incorrectly because actually for each point in the line, I want an object. So actually I want an array of objects where revenue, and it has to be revenue or budget. So yes, this might seem confusing. Honestly, I don't know enough to tell you why we should be doing it this way, but I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna try and explain. And it's not gonna be pretty code, but that's okay. Okay. So, it's because we want our Y to be the field of something like amount, let's say. And that amount is the amount of either the budget or the revenue. And then we want to color by, so this is what we have in mind. The y-axis is the amount, and the color is revenue or budget. So I'm gonna make a new, I'm gonna say type. And so what I'm gonna do here is for each movie, I'm actually going to give back a let's say a yeah, so amount is, let's say, the revenue, and then type is revenue. And then let me just not worry about order for now and do the same thing for the budget. Anybody super familiar with Vega Light, please chime in if I'm doing this completely in a weird way and should not be. Or if I'm actually doing this in a reasonable way. And so I've actually, for each movie, returned an array of the revenue and the budget. So I'm going to flatten it and then, perfect. So amount is 0 for all of them. Fascinating. And oh, Vishnu says switch to field N. Thank you. So this is field N. Wait, so this field is field just Q. Okay, so field basically is Q. Okay, so what that means is I'm saying that this channel is going to be that this encoding is going to be a nominal encoding. So it's I think of it as categorical. And Q, field Q, is saying that it is an amount. Is quantitative, and then for type, it's going to also be nominal. And then, ooh, okay, so it seems that Vega Light went and sorted by alphabetical for us. So I guess it means that we need to do our own sorting, and I don't know if that's dot sort. I need to figure out the syntax for this. And somewhere in here is the syntax for sorting. Or maybe it is in the next one. Let's see. Gilliam, I think in response to DT, so you remember her computer is already struggling a bit, right? Leon asks random, but are you using a mechanical keyboard? Yes, I am. And oh, hi, Kevin. Vishnu, you're making me regret using dot field in the first example. I also just like absentmindedly used that. So ooh, dot sort. Ooh, thank you, Vishnu. Okay, so dot sort. Wait. Ah, okay. So Vishnu to the rescue. I want to do dot sort VL field Q by that title. And actually, wait, dot, oh, VL dot field. Okay. So this one is saying don't, wait, hold on. What? And wait. But that would just sort the title by the title, right? Yeah, wait, that, what? This new, what? Yeah, I want to sort by the, wait. I want to sort by the year. Hold on. Reason you have a sort example in here somewhere. I swear. Ooh, thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you, Vishnu. Okay, so, whoa. Okay, this is not how I remember the syntax to be. So I don't know if something's changed in the last like half a year or a year, or maybe I just haven't been up to date. So we're saying that we want the x-axis to be the title, and we want to sort by a temporal field, which is the date. That should hopefully awesome. Okay, so here is this. This is very interesting because it seems, well, okay, wait, hold on. Let me just make sure, because it seems like a lot of the amount for her movies is 0. I'm not sure if that's true. So, but is that true? Really? That the amounts are 0. So there's definitely some yeah, it all says 0. Am I doing something incorrectly? But I can't be doing it incorrectly because some of them does come through. So most of these movies say that the budget and revenue is 0, which just might mean that they were such small movies that it doesn't have those figures. So what I'm going to do, but even so, there is one that seems to have so there is a problem though, because Crazy Rich Asians did have a really nice amount of revenue. Actually, it's really nice to see how big the revenue was versus the budget. I don't know what happened to Next Gen where it doesn't have the revenue number, but that's really nice to see. But because it's so big, it's hard to see what's at the bottom. So I'm gonna try a log scale. Um, and Vishnu says, so this particular line means use title on the x-axis and sort it by the temporal date field. And there's an alternate syntax that's like vl.field dot type nominal, if that's more no, not that one, not that one. I swear there's another one that's like dot sort. And Vishnu says try tracking and tagging on scale, type square root or symlog or log to fake zoom the y-axis. Yes, thank you. And so that's what I'm gonna do with the y-axis. But Vishnu, I just want to confirm that like to do what I wanted to do, I did have to do this kind of semi-ugly like data munge, right? So that we could get it into the chart that we wanted. Scale where like I had to make a separate object for each revenue and budget. And let me just scale the y-axis by, I'm gonna try log first and then see from there. Is it not type log? I'm gonna just do what Vishnu wrote and just do square root. Okay. So yeah, there's like, most of them doesn't have information, so I'm gonna try. I know we're over time now. I'm actually really getting into this. This is kind of fun. So I'm gonna try and take the next few minutes to make small multiples. And actually, let me make this like a smaller height. I think, can I just do height of 300? Would that work? Yes. No. Yes, it should work. uh, William says perhaps ignore the rows where the data is incomplete. Yeah, I don't know. Let me think about. Let's think a little bit about where we don't have what we should do instead if we don't have budget information. And Snickeret says, can we see by changing the scale of the plot? Yes. So we did it by doing that scale. Vishnu says, an answer probably to my data structure. Short answer is probably, long answer is a link. Oh yes, the tidy, how to do tidy data structure. And I have an unpublished notebook in that charting series about tidy data. Ooh, very, very appreciate that. Yes, thank you, Vishnu. Pranav says, are the notebooks you're using during the stream publicly available on Observable? I intend to clean them up and then make them publicly available. So yeah, so this is the tidy data, which is the way that Vega likes to ingest its data. But I think I'm just bad at getting my data into that structure. So I'm gonna try and study on how to do that in a better way. But for now, I want to do repetition, which is something I learned last week. Got really excited because it means I can do small multiples in Vega Lite. And it seems like the dot height call did not work, but it should work. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong because right here it even says I can do dot height. I don't know if that's just because I don't have dot width. So I highly doubt that that's the case, but I'm gonna do a dot width and dot height. Oh my god, is that really, wait, why is that just 300 pixels tall? Like, am I dreaming? Huh, was that, I guess I just don't know how tall things are. So I'm going to see if I can potentially do a dot repeat. Is it dot repeat? So if I want it to be different actors stacked on top of each other, would I want to be doing a repeat, or, because I don't want to be doing, so there is these facets that are columns and rows. And my understanding of those was that I want to use them if, let's see, that the X and Y, I jotted this down in my notes, but oh, actually, Visnu says, I'm going to maybe regret this, but here's my draft for that notebook. Nice! If you don't want to, I won't, but I guess I'm gonna share this. Tidy data, yes. Okay, I will read that after this. And, ooh, with auto size contains padding for like a border box. And now I'm really going to disappear, run away. No, Bisnu! Come back! So actually, I don't think, okay, so what I was saying about facets is being able to use these, separate these out into like a row. It's like a .com or .row. And that, my impression was that it's the same X and Y mapping, but then there's some third channel mapping that you want to like see separated out. And I don't think that that's what we want here. And I think, well, but actually, it seems like repetition might also not be what I have in mind, because it seems like it's repeating very specific like data, the attribute of the data, and I think what I want is repetition of the actors, like small multiple of the actors. So I'm going to try and figure out how to do this by um, I'm going to try and figure out how to do this by Friday. And yeah, because I don't think the way that these repetitions are implemented, I really don't think that that's what we want. Because essentially, these are, or let's take a look at this. So this is where, yeah, so it's that one of these channels, in this specific example, it's a channel X, is being repeated, and we're saying that let's repeat the horsepower, acceleration, etc. So I don't think this is actually what we want. And actually, it might just be concatenation, where Vishnu is like, literally, you can put any charts together as you want, even if they don't make sense together. I think is what he says. Yeah. We may simply want to place unrelated charts next to each other. That's okay too. And so maybe that's the one we actually want. And this is just because I wanted to show all 6 actors in um, the same cell. Certainly, I could just copy and paste this over 6 times into 6 different cells. But I just wanted a way to have them kind of like on top of each other um, in uh, in the same cell so that it's easier to view. So it might just be that I have to do this concatenation because it does seem like I'm making 6 different charts. If I am completely incorrect, please chime in the chat. But I've also gone overtime. I think that is my punishment for rambling on at the beginning about my childhood. But I had a fun time talking about it. Thank you for encouraging the sidetracks. Visnu says, I got an appointment. I'm going to disappear and run away. Yay, Megalite. Thank you so much for all your help, Visnu. Ian says, a Shirley exclusive. Christophan says, is that Lisp? It is not Lisp. This is all JavaScript. And I think I'm going to call it decent here. And then we're going to, ooh, you know what? I'm just gonna like, ooh, I want to see what this looks like for Michelle Yeoh. That'd be exciting. Hold on, let me figure out where Michelle Yeoh is the third one. So okay, I'm gonna just replace this actor filmography by Michelle Yeoh, and then go and get her filmography. This is Henry Golding's. So you can see, man, good for him. Crazy Rich Asians was his very first movie, and then seems to be doing pretty well. Let's take a look at Michelle Yeoh's because she's had decades. Ooh, this is cool. So actually, Crazy Rich Asians is here, and so this particular for Michelle, that's why I wanted to take a look at. In my kind of notes, I said I also want to kind of take a look at language because I wanted to see what language her movies were in. But certainly, there's also a lot of problems with not having enough information. So for Friday, I might go and consider taking a look at the number of votes instead. Number of votes, and the vote, yeah, and average rating. So I might take a look at that instead for Friday. I'll brainstorm for Friday, but hopefully by Friday I'll have figured out how to do either it's concatenation or whatever it is to get all 6 of the top billing actors into this one cell and being able to see their filmography. And we didn't even get to do the bill order. So we'll try and figure that out on Friday too. And essentially, sidetracks are great. Thank you. Snickeret says, can we try dynamic scaling on hovering? So I'm guessing you mean that once I hover on like this title, then this part expands out so that you can zoom in. That is not something I'm aware of Vega Lite being able to do. You can certainly do it with D3, and if you're using SVG or Canvas, you can certainly do that. It takes a little bit of work. Honestly, I feel like it's more work than reward for those kinds of interactions, but I think there are certainly times where it's beneficial. But I would venture to say that it's probably, I'm going to guess it's probably near impossible for Vega Lite. But that's also just because I don't know Vega Lite well enough. My understanding of Vega Lite is that it is really powerful in helping us do kind of the really quick charts for data exploration. But if you want to go beyond what they have set up for you, it takes a lot more work. So Anna says, Shirley, can you share that article you're referencing on the left? Yes. So this article was is called Observable for Vega Lite, and it is by Visnu. That's been really helpful and has now run away. Hopefully not because of the stream. And yeah, so I've sent that in the chat, and this was really fun to read. So Yes. We will resume on Friday. And thank you so much to everyone that joined today. And hopefully it was at least a entertaining time. Thank you so much, everyone. And I will see you on Friday. Bye bye.